Hello, 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 and welcome to Loud Poet Slam! Oh yeah! Thank you so much for coming along. This is the Loud Poet Slam, the South Heat. Oh, yes. Give me a little cheer if you have been to a poetry slam before. The slammers, good. Give me a little cheer if you have never been to a poetry slam before. But you're enthusiastic, I appreciate it. Good. So when I'm shouting, this is the Slam Heat South, you're like, don't know what that means, strange man. So I shall explain. My name is Kevin. Hello. I will be your... People in Dumfries are so polite. No, you do gigs in like Edinburgh and people are like, just explain yourself. No, thank you. Yes. Hello. I am Kevin. I am... Susie Briggs. On the naughty step. I will be your host for this evening. I am the creative director of I Am Loud Productions and the host for Loud Poets. And it is, a huge pleasure to be able to host all of these slams. This is the second slam in our live season, our slam season that we are kicking off this year with. Basically what that means is we are going to 6 different regions around Scotland, this being the south. We were in Inverclyde as the west. We are going to be in Aberdeen, Inverness, Dundee. I always forget Dundee. I don't know why. I feel mean to Dundee. Dundee, and then we will be in Edinburgh for the central heat. What will happen is all of those slams will have a winner and they will have a runner-up, and those 2 people will qualify to represent their region at our Grand Slam final, which will take place, woo indeed, it will take place in as part of the Edinburgh International Book Fest. Everyone who's worked in spoken word going, ooh, the Book Fest. They have deemed us worthy, and we shall be part of it. It's very exciting. It'll be a massive audience at the Book Fest, and it comes with a $3,000 cash prize. Which, if you know anything about poetry or money, is a fucking lot. We are very excited. More often than not in poetry, when you win a slam, you win entry to another slam, which seems like a bit of a backward system to me. So we thought, why not money instead? And the poet said, thank you, which is very cool. This whole season is being supported not only by the Book Fest and I Am Loud Productions, but the people that are ponying up the most dough are the wonderful folks at Creative Scotland. So let's do a little golf clap for the folks at Creative Scotland. They're not here, so we only need to be semi-polite. But yes, they have been very kind in supporting not only this season of Loud Poets, but last season. And if you have seen us before here, it's because you were part of that season. You came along. This is our 3rd event working with the Stove, and we absolutely love coming here. This has been one of the sort of favourite stops in our sort of new little circuit of touring that we seem to be doing year on year, which is very cool. We brought Mark Grist with us. We brought Tony Walsh with us, and we have Joelle Taylor here this evening. So it's a real pleasure to bring poets like that along with our kind of loud poet style of doing things, which is mostly me screaming into a microphone, and sort of merge that up with the local scene. And so every time we came, we did an open mic, and now we're doing a slam, which is a very cool way to see a bunch of voices from the area we're in. What a novel idea. Voices outside the Central Belt. How unique. But yes, that is the aim of everything we're doing, is to try and grow the spoken word scene throughout Scotland by partnering up with local nights, by hearing those new voices, by connecting them up. We've been running a writing club on our sort of Patreon, and it's been very cool to see people from all the locations that we've been to. So we've had people from like Dumfries and Dundee and Aberdeen. I remember Dundee, Aberdeen and all that kind of coming together to this writing group. And it's just really nice to start to see coming out of the nightmare time from the previous couple of years, and slowly the scene coming back together and people reconnecting and kind of growing that scene. And having seen the amazing work going on in Dumfries, I'm very pleased to be a part of it. So big shout out to the Stove for hosting us. Thank you so very much. And so that brings us back to now, to here, the present. This is the South Heat of our slam. The way a slam is going to work for the new people, it is. My voice can't handle 2 days of performing. we are going to be, the way a slam will work is it's competitive poetry, which is a dumb idea, but we're going to give it a go, where we assign numerical values to poems in an arbitrary manner, and the winner who gets the most arbitrary scores wins some money and access to the EIBF. So the way we'll be figuring out who that person is with a series of rounds. So the first round, we will have, I think it is 11 at last count, amazing performers, all have 3 minutes of the mic to come up and wow you with their poetic prowess. They shall do so, and they will be scored. That'll be the top 6, will then go through to the second round, and then the top 3 from that will go through to the third round, where they'll be joined by a musician, and that'll be the final, and then there will be a winner, and they will qualify along with the runner-up for the £3,000 cash prize. And what I almost forgot to mention, they will become the holder of the Loud Poets Slam Championship belt. Can everyone see the belt? That was the correct level of awe for the belt. This whole season isn't just because I'm a wrestling fan and wanted a custom belt. No. And if it was, you shouldn't tell Creative Scotland that. Very important. So that just leads to who will be assigning the arbitrary numerical scores to the poems that we will see. So what we're doing is we are having one resident Loud Poets judge. That is going to be the wonderful Dr. Katie Ailes. She is a doctor of words, the least useful type of doctor, but in this specific circumstance, the most useful type of doctor. She is, as long as nothing bad happens. She is a PhD in spoken word. That is what she did her PhD on. She is an expert, and we always make her judge the slams, so she has vast experience of doing so. So she will be representing the Loud Poets. Our Dumfries representative is Martin O'Neill, who I'm sure requires very little introduction to you guys. He is running all the stuff, the amazing work that is done at the Stove. He has been absolutely integral, not only to making sure that this part of the season happens, but last season happens. He has seen a whole bunch of poetry from Brave New Words, from the shows we've brought to town. I am sure he will be an excellent and impartial judge, not at all open to bribes. Just... ain't no governing body in slam is all I'm saying. You guys do as you please. And rounding out our judging panel, each slam, each heat, we are going to bring a sacrificial poet with us who will act as judge. They are usually someone who is an absolute expert in all things spoken word, and that does not apply better than this month, where we have the absolutely spectacular Joelle Taylor! Also open to bribes? Absolutely. Good. One poet child, yes. I knew I was right to bring my wallet. Good. So those are our 3 judges. They will be scoring the slam, but the points do not matter. It is the poetry that counts. So that is what we want you guys to focus on. Not the scores, but the poets. And the slam can be a very, very scary thing because you're being judged. That's awful. So please, you guys, don't judge. You guys, be nice, be supportive, cheer the poets on, give them all your love, make all the noise for each and every single one of them. Can you guys do that? Yeah! Guys, this is Loud Poets. It's in the name. We bring the slammers, we bring the poets. You guys need to bring the noise. Are you ready for that? Yeah! Oh, I knew you would be. Now, it is not really fair to make all the slammers jump up right away and get onto the mic, the person that is first. So we do have one other key ingredient, which is a sacrificial poet, someone who gets to come up here, warm up the mic, get those poetic juices flowing in the room. I regretted that word before I even said it. I now need to think of other words to fill the space between juices and saying their name. They were absolutely incredible last night when we were at the Scottish Storytelling Centre. They blew us away. They always do. They are such a spectacular writer, performer, and an incredible ambassador and advocate for the UK spoken word scene. I know you're going to be blown away. I'll stop talking. Please make some noise for the incredible Joelle Taylor!
Hey, how you doing? Big up, you mincers. So, they never mentioned anything about being fucking sacrificed. I'm a long way from home, you get me? I was sat there, I was like, Katie. Yeah, so I've been running slams for a very, very long time down in England. Well, it's UK Slam Championships for young people. But this is it's a unique honour, really, and privilege to be here and to be the person who's most terrified in the room. I'm going to read a poem. That's from my latest book, C+NTO Othered Poems, which is about... it's about the lives of friends of mine. It's about the underground, subversive, lesbian underworld of the... I just made all that up. It's like what I do for a living. In the 80s and 90s, and it particularly focuses on these four butch dykes and what they did and how they lived together and how they died. And this is one of them. It's called Angel. Angel was the youngest of us. It's what's called a boy in our language, B-O-I, in Polari. And it means that because she was so young, she was very close to the source of trauma. So often we experience as butch dykes, we experienced, certainly in the 80s and 90s, a lot of homophobic violence. And that makes us kind of react in ways that are not terribly ladylike, you know, like we fucking hit them back. So which means that Angel was very, very, very good with her fists, very handy, absolutely terrifying, and I adored her. This is Angel. When Angel looks in the mirror, it looks away first. Star fist, open jaw, how the shine becomes you, clean friend, taller than yesterday, spine and unraveling plot you, odd insistence. My king of the blue tattoo, eyebrow pinned Prince Butterfly, when you walked in the room, it became you. How you brought the silence in with you, how you brought the night to its knees, back there, where the quiet ones go, and now the night won't stop texting. How many times have we walked home, you and I, only to find home walking softly behind us? I have seen you leap over language to push a man back inside himself, throw pint glasses like seeds, speak to every woman as though she were your mother. I have seen your fists sob. At the centre of every boy is a bare room. And inside a swinging light bulb, a wire-thin girl dances, stays with you, even when you look away. Angels don't fall from heaven. They leave at closing time. Unscrew their fucks in the backs of black cabs, abandon their bodies beneath a girl, beneath a duvet, beneath the wet, dilated night. On fire.
Give it up for Joelle Taylor! Incredible stuff, incredible stuff. What a way to kick off. That is how you do a Sacrificial Poet spot. Sorry, slammers. Guys, I am gonna read out the running order just so all the poets are aware. And what I'll do is every time I introduce someone, I'll tell you kind of who's on deck, so who's the next one up, just so poets can keep themselves ready, because I know some of you are tucked into the corners as well. So the running order, we'll do one big clap at the end, because it'll be weird otherwise. So the running order will be Susie Briggs, Graham MacLeod, Tessa Gorjeko, Joanne Mackay, Julia Mesnikoff, SaraBoom, Chelsea Nash, Carol Price, Ben the Dunhammer, Christine Watson, and then Kalaine Wood. So, that means we have Graham on deck, but kicking us off in the Loud Poets South Slam heat, please give all the love to Susie Briggs!
Diva. She screamed at me, "It's done," then dragged my heaving heart awa for the wreckage. Her gentle thoughts, von every chain, every bruise, every wound. She gifted me an axe. She showed me where the curves were. She showed me how to pluck out the shards in my identity. With her hand at my back, she whispers, keep walking. And we walk away from storms that other folk summon. And if I fail to listen and get drawn into the black waters, she yells and she points to where the safe harbours are. On dry land, her wit tickles me, and I laugh out loud and often note that at times is deemed by the gurning faces of folk with notions that women should ken by now where the lines are drawn. And together, we stamp out the lines, and still laughing, we smash the patriarchy, yin bit at a time. She sprinkles glitter trails ahin me as I dance for it into the bright adventure that is now my life. Moulded into form, she gathers in all the love offered, and she wraps it in her licht. Mucking a magnificent croon, she looks right into my een smiling, and placing it on my head, she calls me Diva.
Susie Briggs, everybody. On deck, we have Tessa, but coming to the stage just now, we have Graham McLeod.
I am not proud to be a cis male, nor am I ashamed, nor should I be blamed for being normal. A former application, by no means an affirmation, as normal means nothing at all. I am who I am. I don't need a label because I'm unable to fit in. I'm as different as you are, but I do find discomfort with a tag so new that no one knows which letter to choose to describe who I am. I'm this man, not cis man. I'm me, I'm whoever I want to be. I don't have to conform to society's norms. I can be proud of my deeds. My emotional needs are my own, homegrown. I am willing to accept that my sisters and brothers and others are people, not letters or labels. We're all in this together, whatever the weather.
Graham McLeod, everybody. On deck, we have Joanne Mackay, but making their way to the stage is Tessa Gorjeko.
Hi. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but hey. What's the worst that can happen? Traffic jams on Sundays, nasty rash, dirty cash, TV dinners every meal, the Bistow family is real. Petrol queuing for an eon, no snow in Verbier to ski on. Duress, stress, couldn't care less, look in the mirror, you're a mess. Daily Express, second guess, something you'd rather suppress. So, what's the worst that can happen? Visible social norm, baseload storm, bituminous sands, dangerous false friends, markets, credit, offset, financial crash, cars and telly gone in a flash Faustian bargain basement, Exxon Mobil, brothers Kosh, astroturfing Satan, indifferent to future loss, waiting in line for chaos, the world is our pot and we're shitting, innocent bystanders to a crime we're knowingly committing. But what's the worst that can happen? Fortress continents rising, hyperbolic rain surprising, anthropogenic footfall, climate gate football, albedo emissions, inversion addictions, cracked earth destruction, dust bowl catastrophe poisoned in committees while they lose their land and crop, flock to the cities, mass destruction lobbyists, last-ditch atrocities, threats the West cannot ignore, disease, conflict, forced migration, drowning shootings, terrorist war. What you've seen is just the start. This kills conversation. heretical shout from the heart. Don't upset the apple cart. Lovely meal, another drink. The invisible field of silence. Silence about silence. We know, but we don't like to think about it. We don't want a revolution. We know, we do our bit, recycling and electric cars. We know, but we can't see that far. We trust that they will find solutions. We know. Green grow the economy, oh. We know, but don't know how to know. Anyway, what's the worst that can happen?
Tessa! On deck we have Julia, but coming up to the stage now, Joanne McCann!
Diamond people. There was a shooting once in Bristol on a brilliant, shining August day. Unsurprisingly, I can remember the name of the killer, Crackhead Trevor. The man who died, his name I have forgot. But not his roles, jewellery shop manager, victim, nor the golden hair still gleaming on the remaining side of his head. It was a shotgun job, you see. And there were others too that blinding day whose names I have forgot. The wooden top, recently excised from Collator's office where he had sat amongst paper, shadows and bad men's names for far too many informing years, he had the brains to grab the witness and drive her straightway to St Paul's to tour the area to see if he, the suspect, name unknown then, could be found. And that witness was a youngish woman with a daughter dressed in sparkling blue, who she gave away to a passer-by, older woman, but stranger still, trusting child's life to an unknown other, to seek the killer of an unknown man. She found him, by the way, and I was there. And we chased Trevor in our escort and knocked him down, and he got up and we jumped out and ran and got him. And as I held him, found I was holding still, the cigarette lit as we left the scene, tiny comet trail sparks on bloody jeans. Once he was safe at the station and swabbed, I returned to shining Park Street, where the sunlight bouncing off the stone made the whole rising street heavenly. When another woman walked up to me and handed over an eternity ring worth £57,000. And she looked so sad that a man had died. So she did her bit, for this could be important, unsoiled evidence. Trevor had been emptying his pockets as he ran, and in the following hazy days, many others, nameless now, handed us precious, shining jewels, whose glints made hard certain that we'd found the route Trevor ran down to get to ground. All these people, these good people, and the only name I can remember now is that of Crackhead Trevor.
Everybody! Amazing stuff. We keep rolling. SaraBoom is on deck, but coming to the mic right now, make some noise for Julia Vesnica!
We moved across the world while the world was on hold. Every part of my life was out of control. A dozen decisions demanded attention by 9 a.m. every day. No address, no car, no credit score, new bank, new school, new grocery store. I couldn't settle to sleep or even to eat. I've never needed distraction more. I've been skeptical of knitting because how much slower can a hobby get? But I am newly neighbors with 6 million sheep, so I decide to give it a try. Turns out there's a blissful degree of order to knitting. You pull the new yarn through the loop that you have, or you push that new yarn through. Pull or push or pull. And there are a few other details, but my God, it was soothing to my strung-out spirit to learn something so rhythmic, because bodies like rhythm, like walking, like dancing, like breathing. And between the pandemic and our move, I hadn't touched another human being in a really long time, except for my husband and son. So when my knitting teacher turned out to take a full-body approach to the matter, such that when I made a mistake, she leaned from her folding chair over to mine, rested her elbows on my knees, wrapped her hands around my hands, and made my hands move as she meant them to. Instead of that feeling like an invasion of personal space, it felt like a blessing, like I am in contact with a human, a retired accountant in lavender trousers. Her name is Elizabeth. Hallelujah. And week by week, Elizabeth came to feel like a friend. And even still, when I knit something I'm proud of, I text a photo to her, and she tells me how wonderful I am, how chuffed she is, and I start knitting something else. Knit, purl, push, pull, breathe in, breathe out. Years ago, my PE teacher had a poster, a wide-eyed kid clinging to some fraying strands, peering at the floor so far away, and it said, if you feel like you've come to the end of the line, add more rope. And this is not the house I thought I'd live in, or the friends I thought I'd have, or the weather I've always dreamed of, or the job that I had planned. But here I am, knotting on a new chapter, splicing in some coping mechanisms, and I thank those sheep and sweet serendipity for this lifeline, this tangled lifeline with which I keep making myself more rope. And as long as there's more rope, this is not the end of my line.
Thanks so much for Julia! On deck, we have Chelsea Nash, but coming up now, go wild for SaraBoom!
Hello. I'm Fuckboy. I need to see you today. Look outside of your back door. There will be a love bomb bouquet. I will take you out to where the sirens play, along the secret shoreline in my gypsy traveller's bus, where I will charm you with the tales of mermaids and kiss your lips like magic. I will woo you with my singing, overwhelm you so you fall way down into my lair, where our energies will swirl and surge. Your boundaries are down and I have you. So now I can be rude. Shapeshift with your dizzy head, saying yes one day, never the next. Our loving will turn into a loathsome game, which you will never win. And your hormone mind will be mangled, and I will still have you. You open out your last sacred space to me, and I destroy it, your writing. I will shout with splintering spit, it is full of mistakes. I will not give it well done or prouds or praises. You will be crippled by my criticism, and I will revel in the red mist as it steams up your eyes. Then I will be sad. I will be the lost boy, the hurt boy, the abused boy, the absent dad, blended from a family full of bastards and broken homes, now with a baby I never see. The police follow me wherever I go. Why does this happen to me? And finally, I will be angry. I will growl with the pain of my history, and I will say it is all your fault. And I abandon you. I'm a fuckboy. Yes, you are a fuckboy. I'd love how you wooed me, stronger than the pull of the ocean. I'd been lost in the bliss of that cosmic first kiss with the whispers of sea and sand and sex madness. Then your red flags flipped in the high tide wind. Your daily sting of sarcasm scratched like crushed shells, shredding through our honeymoon hugs. Such a masterful maverick, morphing from vampire to Viking. I love you, I hate you. It's all my fault. The sirens screeched out there in the dark. In the furious froth of the waves, they rescued my ruptured heart and returned it to me. But fuckboy, you're just stuck in thick estuary mud where deep currents surge. I don't care if you're sucked in, it's what you deserve. Lost boy, hurt boy, fuckboy.
Make some noise for SaraBoom! On deck we have Carol Price, but keep that applause rolling in as we welcome to the stage Chelsea Nash! The one time I get it wrong.
Great start. I'll do. This might put me on an FBI watch list, but I don't mind. In fact, I welcome it. I want to wipe my arse with the US Constitution. For I believe that it's the only sensible solution. Sure, it may trigger a second revolution. Still, I want to put my shitty plan into fruition. I want to do it all on live television. The whole world would see my perfect precision as I successfully smother the Second Amendment with my frustrated excrement. I'll be like Nick Cage in National Treasure. Though my task is a different sort of endeavour, and he might think it's kind of a weird flex to use a historical document like it's Andrex. I'll dedicate my performance to the NRA. Oh, I'm sure that they'll have something to say. Their fury will send me laughing away, straight to my cell in Guantanamo Bay. So many US citizens remain so sure that their country is all good and pure. I must therefore give myself the runs to show them that they are not the chosen ones. Pro-birth, QAnon, evangelicals, they'll all be going completely hysterical. And I'll become an enemy of the state. It's fine, I've accepted my fate.
Chelsea Nash, everybody! It takes a special level of confidence when you know there's an American judge to do that poem. Bravo, Chelsea. Sorry, I must compose myself. On deck we have Ben the Dunhammer, but coming to the mic right now, go absolutely wild for Carol Price!
Hello. Well, during the lockdown, I had a word that got stuck in my head, and it just kept on going and going. And it really worried me, and it bothered me. And that word was tempered. Now, I looked it up in a lot of dictionaries, and there are masses of different definitions. But here's what I wrote. Tempered by technology, repeated messages of warning. Stay away from those you love. You're only safe in solitude. Smiles distorted on small screens. Voices broken into stuttering bursts of conversation. Tempered with new cadences, purring cats,
domesticity, coffee brewing on the stove, the gentle slosh of the washing machine, chords that reverberate between the gaps of quiet, sounds that soothe before the discord starts again in the stifling silence of the sleepless dark. How good to feel the sun warm our backs as sand clutched our toes in the receding waves, and arm in arm, crab-like, we stumbled along the shore. Oh, how sweet it would have been to lie with you and watch you wake in the morning light. Tempered by loss, real and immediate, distant and anticipated, grief awakened in every one of us, hugs never forgotten, your craved-for company out of reach. In that quiet corner of the restaurant, we laughed and flirted as we sipped red wine. We had all the time in the world, we thought. Oh, how sweet it would have been to lie with you and watch you wake in morning light. Tempered by fortitude, locked on a treadmill of little tasks, strengths discovered along the way, buttons sewn, bread baked, seedlings planted in warm soil. Persevere, have courage, stay safe. A single crimson rose blooms too early. I am not yet ready for that beauty. As tempered glass, outwardly tough, I may shatter into many, many tiny pieces. Oh, how sweet it would have been to lie with you and watch you wake in morning light.
Make some noise for Carol Prize! Stunning stuff. On deck, we have Christine Watson, but making their way to the stage right now, go absolutely nuts for Ben the Doonhamer!
Good evening, folks. Pleasure to be here speaking to you all. The spider speaks. Born in a burst with my 8-legged brothers and sisters from an egg sack that was protected by my ruthless mother that ate her father's head as a snack. Then she cocooned his carcass for consumption later. I'm destined to spend the days of my life as a web maker. When I was a few weeks old, I met my first cruel leg breaker and escaped to grow hairy and scary. Now I give nightmares to a young girl called Mary. Drinking the innards of my web's larder is appealing, and then I like to go for a wander across the ceiling. I swing from a string of thread and set about building the most spectacular web. After hours of intricate, skilled workmanship, it catches a fly which I inject through fangs once in my grip. It's a spider's life. Now all I want is a mate, not a wife. With all my eyes, I search for my prize and ultimately my demise. As the day I found her was the one my natural instincts left me beaten, as just like my father before me, after the act of copulation, I was eaten. Thank you.
Phenomenal stuff, Ben. Phenomenal stuff. We have Colleen Wood on deck, but our penultimate poet, eager to make their way to the stage. Go absolutely wild for Christine Watson!
He left her, scrubbing away the scaly stamps of the rubber soles that imprinted upon her skin on his way to somewhere, to someone else. She had been warned not to give herself so entirely, but how could she not, when every bit of her wanted it, and when she could not conceive of a descent until she was tumbling? From any height, that fall can be fatal. even if it was only her head coming down to meet the domain of her feet, breathing in all that humility and remembering the darkness that holds her, even as she chases a blinding brightness, a blue so intense it stuns the senses, soaking into her with all of its proximity of space. Enough to pick apart every fibre of her heart, savouring those memories of his cord calloused fingers, of that hole in the same spot in all of his jeans, and the way he reached round his whole back to scratch. She scoured all 4 chambers for what lives in the stillness between beats, for all the names she's etched and banished, for all the apologies she's never heard, and all the times he soothed that love lasts forever. But in her self-dissection, she hasn't been able to find anything as damning as the way she has treated herself. Nobody made her lay down and take his weight. Nobody told her she must hoard her words or to believe these booted men the best she deserves. They just made her feel like she should. But is that their fault or hers when she can't escape her certainty that she has nothing to say that hasn't already been said, that she has nothing to give worth more than her willingness to give it? Sometimes she feels as if her voice exists only to keep herself from getting lonely, and that her hands are destined to spend eternity rubbing warmth back into one another. And maybe if she could just believe that she matters, it would be enough to give that to herself, and she could stop longing for somewhere, for someone else. Thank you.
Give it up for Christine Watson! And to round off the first round of the Loud Poets South Slam, please make some noise for Colleen Wood!
Just what on earth will I tell my girls when they're 24 and 19? About the way we've left the world for them and about the things they might have seen. When they're queuing up at the food bank or at the fountain for a drink, how will I explain that no matter what, we never took the time to think that eating meat and driving cars were things we could have done without? And even at breaking point, in the point of realisation, we carried on and on in doubt of all the sceptics with their septic tanks full to bursting point with nonsense. And how we trusted them, mistrusted, and we misjudged it in more than one sense because it's double and it's triple, it's 4 times worse than we thought. And at my age, we can't blame ignorance because when we were at school, they taught us about the forests and the ozone and the greenhouse gas effect, about the oil and the dodo and the way nature selects the weak ones from the strong ones and washes them all out with a wave. Or is it the rich ones from the poor ones and it's the money that can save them from the disasters that their masters from overseas were underneath? And that the same ones sent to take them were the ones sent to bring relief from the cholera and the chlorine that half the world still have to drink. While the other half, or even less, pretend that no one's on the brink of a precipice. That's a bottomless pit or on the tip of a floating block of ice that hides beneath the surface. You don't see it unless you look twice, but twice to 2 times too many. When my smartphone starts to ping, when my hashtag in with a cash bag in that we're all about to bring an end to homelessness and hostilities with a free meal and a warm embrace, when we should have been armed to the teeth and engaged in a barefoot fucking race from Manchester down the M6 straight to London in our droves to drive out the cockroaches and to string up Michael Gove. But we didn't do it, sweethearts, because we had to go to work. And so the planet's on its arse and the weather's gone berserk, but the fracking has just started. So it might all be warm soon, as the rich, the bitches and the bastards move to the moon to create a new haven for the depraved and the emotionally bereft, to escape civilization whilst the rest of us are left back on this planet that we inhabit and use as our dumping ground. And then we'll wait with bated breath until we hear the thumping sound of the missiles and the virile chants of hatred and of war. And we'll lift our heads above the parapet like we should have done before to see your cousins by the dozens and your mum's good-looking mate fall by the wayside. And when they've died, well, we'll know it's too fucking late, won't we? Thank you.
Colleen Wood, everybody! And it's moments like this I'm very pleased I'm a host and not a judge. Guys, can we just get a huge round of applause for all of our round 1 slammers? seriously. I have been doing this for the best part of a decade. I have been to a lot of slams, and that is one of the best first rounds I have ever seen. Like, that was so fucking high quality. Like top to bottom, I am genuinely super, super impressed. Everyone should be incredibly proud of themselves. I know the judges are in for a bit of a nightmare. So what we're probably going to do now is take a little break for about 15, 20 minutes while they do some complicated math. And then we will come back, and what we'll do is I will announce the 6 who are through to the second round. I want you to bear in mind, just through the interval, I will repeat this when we come back, but I am absolutely certain there will be 0.5s of points between making it and not. If you do not make it into the second round, please, please do not be discouraged. This was genuinely fucking awesome. I could see the judges the whole way through enjoying every piece. So guys, just one more time, can we get a huge round of applause for all of our slammers? That was awesome. Slammers, if you guys could all stick about and just come up to the stage so we can get a photo. Everyone else, we will be back with you in about 15, 20 minutes. Thank you. Guys, this is, the second half. I'm so blown away by the first half. Honestly, it was such a high caliber. Everyone should be very impressed. People that have done slams for years, I know me and Joelle were talking about it in the half, like, you could run a slam. We could start from the top again after this is finished and you would get a different result. It really is so kind of changeable. It depends on the running order, it depends on the judges, it depends on a little stumble here or there when it is so very close. So please, 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 if you don't make it through the second round, do not be disheartened. I appreciate the work of everybody that stood up in the first round. I would love to see you all come back, not only when we are back, which we will be on some month that I don't know right now, but later in the year, once the slam thing is done, we will be back July. No, I said Julember, exactly. Thankfully, there are flyers kicking about, and, Martin will keep you up to date. But I know Brave New Words is going to be back, right? When is Brave New Words back? In May. Did I just do an announcement that I wasn't supposed to? You just answered me, though. Tell me to shut the fuck up. Oh, no. So Brave New Words will be back, but I will not. So that's fun. It's a cool time for spoken word. We are very happy to see so many amazing nights kicking about and so many really, really cool scenes. And if the people here keep coming along, keep engaging in the nights there, I know it means good things on the horizon for Scottish spoken word. But I can also see all the slammers staring at me going, read out the fucking names! So I will do so in just a minute. No. You got to do the gag, right? Guys, what we'll do is I will read them all out in the order they are going to perform in the second round, and we will do one big clap at the end, all right? So, your 6 second round poets, in this order they will be performing: Colleen Wood, Christine Watson, Ben the Dunhammer, Chelsea Nash, Julia Mesnikoff, and Susie Briggs. Genuinely, one of the coolest things about slam in the UK, and it's always a thing I've cared a great deal about, is slam was kind of much bigger in North America, and what you kind of saw it do was take lots of diverse ranges and slowly homogenize them into this one voice that wins slams. And one of the things I've been so pleased to see, not only in sort of previous years, but this year in the slams that we have been running, is that there is not a homogenous voice. There is not one successful route through slams in the UK. That you get at a slam to hear such a range of work. Like that first round, you got a bit of everything. Stylistically, subject matter, the range of voices was really beautiful. And I want to keep seeing that continue all the way through the slam. And when you see the 6 people that get through, there is not one sort of golden ticket to get to the next round. So that is very, very cool. So a big thank you for our judges for scoring the first round. And an even bigger round of applause for all of the poets in round 1. You guys smashed it. To give our round 2 poets a bit of time to compose themselves, what we thought we would do is take advantage of the fact that Joelle fucking Taylor's here and maybe get them to do a bit of a set for us. But what we thought we would also do is give you guys a chance, if you get through the 3rd round when you're going to be working with music, to see how that is done. So I would love to introduce to you all our wonderful loud musician, Mr. Jack Hinks! Jack has worked with us for many, many years. He is so experienced in working with poetry and, you know, kind of adding to your poetry rather than overwhelming it. He is one of my favourite musicians in the country in his own right as well. He does beautiful music, despite him having a not quite complete guitar. He even makes that work. So good he is. But yeah, so he is going to be accompanying, and I know last night at the Storytelling Centre, him and Joelle did some work together, and I know they're going to do that again. It is going to be beautiful. I'm not going to fuck around anymore. You know who she is. You know she's amazing. Please put your hands together and welcome the wonderful Joelle Taylor!
Yeah, so I figured what we'd do is I'll give you the 3 words, like the guys are going to have to, and then I'll tell you a bit of a story about what I'm going to do, and I'll just do it. So my 3 words are cinema, tenderness, rage. Wicked. So this poem I'm going to do is called Conto, which is a real word. It's not. It's a set of 7 cantos about being a dyke, so I called them contos because I didn't expect what happened. I didn't think anybody would ever hear it, so it's slightly embarrassing. Literally go around the world going, yeah. And it came out of a commission from Apples and Steaks, who are a big performance poetry agency based in London, longest one going in the whole of the UK. And they were doing the 35-year anniversary, which is an amazing show called Rallying Cry, which is based on the politics at the heart of what we all do. Politics at the heart of spoken word. And they gave me a word, and the word was protest. And this is what I wrote. So I said this in 7 cantos. I want you to imagine that it's set in a boxing ring, roped off with barbed wire. This is true, because I actually did this. I'm wearing a little pair of white boxer shorts, little white vest, like fabulous. And then in the other corner, I'm 55, I was loving it. Just a natural physique for a boxer, I like to think. And then in the other corner was my 3-piece suit, and throughout it I got dressed. Right, so it begins like this. Some girls fall from sunlit skies straight down into flat pack floral dresses, grab their smiles from a hook behind the door, rescue their faces from riptides of mirrors. Some girls are always falling. Round 1. The body as battleground. You fall and miss your body entirely. Land somewhere in enemy territory, behind the lines. Your body, a foreign country you cannot get a visa for. Your skin, a parachute caught in tree branches. You awaken in no man's land. Gunfire from over the horizon, and women are crucified on hashtags across the dark hills. Your trench is crowded with dead women, wearing faces that try to escape them, and the clothes of someone you once knew. There are landmines buried deep beneath your skin, and no one understands them. In between the battle cry and the bedroom is this sticky quiet, this no man's land. And this is where you live. Men explode when you least expect it. All these lifetimes searching for body. Round 2. The body as protest. Born backward, bright back, wide, skin rolling, cigarettes and shirt sleeves, skyline chin, Levi 501s curled up to cuff, lip the same. White t-shirt so they can project themselves on you, tsunami quiff, and black boots whose roots spread and tangle to the centre of the earth. You don't wear makeup to prove you have not made anything up. This is your face. Your father's friends gave it to you. One Christmas Eve, 1973, you unwrapped it from beneath a decorated tree from which the rest of your family hung. They sipped cocktails as you slowly disappeared, swaying gently to that wail of celebration, the harbinger of party. You cut your first suit from the thick silence when you enter a room. They call you Butch, the name derived from Butch Cassidy. You are the descendant of outlaws, irony incarnate, woman butchered, cut into select meats, middle distance stare, shoulder, breast, wild tongue. They fear you. Boy bar dyke, diesel female sodomite, lady faggot bull dyke, bull dagger queer pervert, gold star silverback stud invert, kiki shemale drag clone, baby butch tomboy, stone. But if you are a stone, you are a chip off the mountain, and you join an avalanche of wrong walking women, shaven heads like tumbling rocks. You keep them close, they are. Rosary. On the dance floor, we are tidal, heckle the night, passing nods between us and handshakes that stop our handshaking. We are untamed, a wilderness of women. We are waste ground. What a waste, love. Nothing grows on us. Barren and sterile and unuseful female, empty as church pews. The wind rattles its fists inside our wounds. Come on then, snake boy. Come now, heretic healer. Where are the maths that solve us? How do we fit into your algebra, your binary code? Our bodies are political placards, and we dance as demonstration of independence. We revolution in the living room, uprising in the public toilets, insurgency in the suburbs. Fear us! Fear is a girl backing into her face. Is it not camp enough to be your best friend? Our closet a strata of fossilized clothes, girl pelt. Is it not funny enough for your talk show, bruv? Is it that a woman without makeup is a woman without a face? How were we to know that when we were cleansing, we were erasing our whole existence? Round 3. The body. Round 3. The body as protest. You are a trespasser in your own body. The landowners are men who pass by you in the street. In Accrington, cars stammer and words ejaculate through slit windows. Your mother's phone rings in the middle of the night. Shh, do you know about your daughter? 3 Pentecosts with Nazi insignia break into your home. God is an atheist who no longer believes in himself, and they unscrew the light bulb slowly, eyes fixed on the unmade-up girl, trembling defiance. They whisper a prayer for you to leave your family. You do. 13. And a man pulls you over the back seat of a bus and stubs his kiss out on your cheek. Slowly, a boxer's embrace, but he doesn't throw the punch. He posts it. You wait by letterboxes, flinch when it chatters, never answer the phone. In Brixton, men cradle their fists like babies and watch as you walk past as though they are thin-ribbed cats in the undergrowth, and you, a small, shaven-headed bird. There's a reason women are compared to birds, and it's got fuck all to do with wings. Some songs harden on the wind. Some girls are kept in gilded cages on suburban mantel pieces. 18, out, clubbing with the crew, a baby butch in the abattoir of beauty, the quiver and frantic, white girls with bindis, white boys with dreadlocks, saris and docs tribal tattoos. We are the modern primitives wearing our heritage like red flags, like cowardice, and you dance as though you are stamping out flames, as though your boots are hammering in the necklace nails to the coffin of the old gods. Strangers hug and tell each other secrets. You are ecstatic. But then the light looks away. Skinny wolves separate you from the flock. Wallpaper, the drugs no longer working as they amber eye you. Aberration. And they must conquer what they cannot name. 23. You finish rehearsals in the city with nowhere to sleep. So you wish the posh kids good night. And you walk, 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 and he finds you quickly, and when you come round, you are empty, and his eyes are full, and above you, twin gods. This is the first time you think you're going to be killed, and when you're not, it's a disappointment. The morning after pill is a communion, a wafer, and you are forgiven. Your trespasses you learn quickly. Men are broken things, breaking things. Round 4. The body has symmetry. The first time you die, you drink a bottle of cleaning fluid, and moths of nurses wrap you in white swaddling curses. Fuck you, they whisper, as you're interred into your hospital bed. Fuck you, they croon. And when the mourners come, they seem happy. A picnic in a mortuary. The third time you die, it's classic, cinematic. A bottle of your mother's sleeping pills, you swallow them without water, watching a film about a girl who is not loved. The film ends, the cinema empties, but no one notices. The thin thing lying there, mouth like an earthquake in a country no one can spell. They don't find it till morning, and when they do, you are packed off to the fat priests of psychiatry to apologize. You lie. And your smile is a torn cunt, a split. Round 5. The body as backroom. Each night, we have a lock-in. A meet at the back of my heart, smoking in circles, handing grins to each other like pass the parcel, opening each layer of the smile until the pith is revealed. We are ferocious women, eating our children, our youth, stepping out of our skins and leaving them draped behind us like soiled wedding dresses. we die slowly. Cigarettes stubbed by obsidian skies. A brain explodes into night butterflies. A car loses its grip on reality, suicides by the bouquet full. Not one of my friends was allowed to live in her body unaccompanied. Always a landlord, always a lodger. Round 6. The body as haunted house. In sleep, my body's a haunted house. There are footsteps along fallopian corridors. The corridor is a rope strung above a mouth. I have been woken by blurred voices without bodies, quiet arguments in my basement. Once I was possessed by a small girl who looked the same as me, who ate herself on a Sunday afternoon while her parents were downstairs hardwiring their hangovers and Christmas tunes looped in nooses. My heart is a church bell and nobody visits, and God is a man with his hands in his pockets watching. Round 7. The body as uprising. Oh, you bayonet boys, you truncheon rob. My face doesn't fit my face, but your fist does. Years from now, no one will remember how we fought, how each bruised knuckle was a white boy's head bent in prayer. No one will remember the love, how alike it is to rage, how screams made corporeal, or rainbows, or how rainbows became corporate logos. Did we carve our epitaphs into a stone wall? No one will remember picking acronyms by candlelight, so fuck it. Are we in the back bar of heaven? Cars will be getting around and releasing that laugh, while birds escape in her mouth, and none of this will matter. I'll be riding the ghost road to Valentine, bareback, knee clench on her Harley. I'll be scoffing the city of Judzilly. Men will stare like open shaft mines. I'll be walking the white lines with Angel, tight mouth, Antelope Heart. Kaz Johnson, B. Gittins, Avi Cummins, Sam Sylvan, Tony Macaroni, Paddy. I can't remember the names of all my dead friends, but they're here now. Our grief, a leather jacket, our laughter, static, as we fade to a sepia, the colour of blood mixed to water, disappearing down a plug hole, much like the meeting of our legs. Remember this, my whole life is a protest. Thank you so much, Dumfries. Big up. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you. Oh, wow. Cheers. Thank you.
Give it up again for Joelle Taylor! Can we also get a bit of love for Jack Hinks in the room? That was fucking incredible. We are so grateful to have Joelle not only here to judge the slam, but to provide her absolutely incredible words. She was phenomenal yesterday at the Storytelling Centre, and it is a distinct pleasure to be able to bring her here this evening as well. There is a wealth of talent in the UK spoken word scene. It is like no other art form. I speak about it endlessly. I will until I am blue in the face. There is no art form quite like spoken word. And like this evening, where you can have people absolutely have you on the floor rolling with laughter, and then you can have people absolutely move you to tears in the complete other direction. It is an incredibly powerful art form that is one of the most democratic, accessible art forms in the world. You need nothing but your words to be able to express something beautiful, and I think that is always important, and it is never better displayed than at things like poetry slams, where we come together and hear all those voices. So can we just get a big round of applause for everyone? I'm gonna steal a little technique from my beautiful Loud Poets partner Mark Galley. I think after that, to reset the energy, we could all do with a bit of a big breath. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3. We're gonna take a big breath in. We're gonna hold it, and then we're gonna let it out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. Are you guys ready for the second round of the slam? Hell fucking yeah, let's do this, guys. I am going to run down the order one more time. Kicking us off, we are going to have Colleen Wood, who's going to be followed by Christine Watson, then Boone the Dunhammer. I don't have to do the poems, it's fine. Ben the Dunhammer, Chelsea Nash, Julia Mesnikoff, and then rounding us off is going to be Susie Briggs. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah! Then let's not fuck about. Please put your hands together and give all the love to Colleen Wood!
I had a heart attack at 34, but I think the thing that hurt me more than the pain across my chest was the state of the NHS. They've ripped the heart out of that, they've carved it straight out the back, it's starved, but it's not like there's a lack of care. Money though, nah, none there. How many Tory MPs have used the NHS, never mind the cabinet? I don't mean for photo opportunities, I'm not having it, because unless you've sat in a trolley stacked 3 beds deep, it would be my advice that you best keep your hands off the purse strings and your opinions to yourself. This is an urgent matter of national health. We cut out cancers and we starve a fever. We want actions and answers, and you give us neither, like an abusive missus, but you just can't leave her because you're in too deep and you still can't see the wood for the trees. It's no good for the knees, all this cap in hand begging stuff, just to make sure you get enough bedpans to piss in. There's no piss left to take. It's deliberate underfunding until there's no choice to make, and the people that can afford it get privately insured because there's nothing else for it and no room on the ward where your nan is and where I am. They've forgotten that we're here, plugged into the drip that ran out last year, an IV line of BS from the PM. You should go down there himself and see them. But it's not just the old. This is just the start, and exactly like the attack on my heart, they'll block the arteries and they'll stem the flow until people like us have nowhere to go. No doctors, no ambulances, no paramedics, no nurses, and so I'll put it in poems and stanzas and lyrics and verses. Do we need it is the question, and the answer is yes. There's no other option. Save the NHS. Thank you very much.
Next up to the mic in this second round, we have Christine Watson!
She builds her castle in the sand, too close to the shore. She likes to watch the tide tear it down over and over, filling her pockets up with shells, her cherished discarded homes, of cockles, crabs and mussels, now lining a bed of her own. She has tried it their way, surrounding herself with stone, trapped within a rock pool, a stagnant separate throne, from which those murky depths can never be explored, and home is as out of reach as the sinking, singing floor. That edge between worlds has claimed her, as the moon has claimed the sea. Their push and pull echoes in the swelling and shedding of she. She belongs to the ever-shifting. She aches for what others fear. The ocean swims in her blood and in her belly full of tears. The malleable have softened her with the persistence that deepens caves, dissolving and dispersing her with every crashing wave, so that when her castle crumbles, she's able to bear the weight. And even when she's falling apart, she doesn't break. That is the freedom she seeks, not to do or buy or be at all, but the bravery of the broken, to live like she isn't at all, to sift through all of the pieces and keep building herself anew, to be no one except who she is in the depths of her own moon-kissed truth.
Give it up for Christy Watson! And keep that love going, keep that applause building as we welcome back to the stage, Ben the Dunhammer!
This is a picture of us, and it's ugly. Or is it lovely? Smeared in social sickness, we all bear witness to our own demise, attempting to delay the decay with 5 a day as a start, along with less carcinogens and more of it's pure for your heart. Feed the whole in your mind, body and soul. Respect yourself in all situations and only live up to your own expectations. I'm just trying to reaffirm that which is already within you. Waste is a sin too great to make a mistake. Don't take too long a break before you know it will be too late. And if you wait for fate to take its toll, then you'll wake too late to take control. The words that I speak urge me to do more of each week and hope that others can relate and translate the meaning. I'm leaning towards the direction of change and I'm standing at one of life's intersections feeling strange. Which way shall I choose? If I pick the wrong one, then I might lose. Life is full of clues, remind you pay your dues, stay in your own set of shoes and never try to be someone you're not. Always stand your ground, don't just stand around. Demand to find all that you want found and astound all those around with your pound for pound appreciation for living that can't be drowned. I'm a man of sound. Living from music and poetry and all the joy it brings for me and all those around. Every day, I'll have something more to say. I explore myself emotionally, record, press play and let the stress be taken away. I'm aching to stay involved with the puzzle until it's solved. I'm the questions dancing partner, asking if they'll whisper me the answer. Can you give me the answer, please? Thank you.
Give it up for Ben the Dunhammer! And keep that going, keep it building as we welcome back to the stage, Chelsea Nash!
The humming of machines tickle their brains, the children who come here to play, and be told of a future soon to arrive, one where they're sure to thrive. If they follow their lessons, they should be fine. Society rewards those who stay in line. A loyal machine is a happy machine, and servitude can be rather serene. If the server is happy, is the server a slave? You'll never really know if you always behave. Swinging, sliding, jumping, spinning round, dancing to the android's ticking sound. But they don't notice they're playing a game, as children do. They're all just the same, a trait they share with our mechanical product, though they lack a certain level of conduct, which is why we bring them all here today, to the Silicon Playground, to learn and play. Can you use this hammer? Clink, clink, clink. Can you solve this riddle? Think, think, think. Can you beat your opponents? Flick, flick, flick. Do we like what we see? Tick, tick, tick. Now this little one in the corner is looking rather glum. Come here and tell us, what ails you? Oh, you recognize that one. He looks like your uncle, the one that went missing, presumed dead. It's a funny old world we live in, isn't it? It's funny. Let me tell you a fact about the world. There are too many people, and it's all out of control. So there are certain measures that we must undertake to ensure that everyone has a purpose and a place. Look into his eyes. Yours don't deceive you. He lost one job too many, and now his unemployed days are through. And the same will happen to you if you don't listen to us today. Yes, listen and learn, you little freak, while your friends all sing and play. Up, down, left, right, give yourself an appetite. Round and round, side to side, this will be one hell of a ride. Your Uncle Ted isn't dead. We reprogrammed his head in the factory shed. It was an easy job. There wasn't much up there. He begged us for mercy, but we didn't care. In this age of overpopulation, there's less room for layabouts and drunkabouts and fuckabouts. We can't stand you people, so we stopped you from being people. Give you something to do, a little purpose or two, and we'll do the same to you. Yes, we'll do the same to you. Now, run off and tell your little friends every word that I've just said. Let them know that if they don't behave, I'll take control of their heads. Perhaps their bodies too, I guess. Who knows what the future holds? Artificial skin is more resilient than flesh when left out in the cold. Thank you.
Give it up for Chelsea Nash! As we welcome to the stage our penultimate poet this round, please make some noise for Julia Mesnica!
When my darling child was 3 or 4, he developed a taste for knock-knock jokes that went like this. Knock, knock. Who's there? Motorcycle. Knock, knock. Who's there? Underpants. Knock, knock. Who's there? Poop. And while this in large doses was nearly enough to drive a mama mad, the older I get, the more I believe it's not bad as a metaphor. Things are what they are, as the Buddha knew. And the more I got this, the less I fought this, the calmer my insides grew. When I was a child, aged 3 or 4, my parents took me to church each week, and I was introduced to God in some strange and specific ways. The shepherd for whom the lion and the lamb would lie down together, the magician in whose pierced palms bread and fishes bloomed. And the older I got, the less that made sense. This world is so fractured, chaotic, intensely unholy, so much of the time. And I followed a common path, lost all religion, tossed the baby, when I meant to toss the bath. As I ditched the details of theology, I misplaced the wonder and the mystery, and now I find myself in a cautious courtship dance, trying again to give holiness a chance while embracing science, because hello, evolution, you are definitely in. You too, vaccination, old friend. But what's that courtship gonna look like? Because, knock, knock, what's here? Malaria, poverty, climate emergency, hunger, tsunamis, the fall of democracy. Things are less than peachy. Mystical Jewish rabbis teach that the light of God was at first so dense, so intense, that it self-shattered, sending shards of spirit prismatic into everything. Babies, of course, but carrots, dandelions, Rishi Sunak and midges, frogs, planets and pine trees and elephants and you and dogs and me. And the task of all us humans is to gather up those lights, rehome them to their rightful place, and our God parts reunite. That shard of God in all of us It takes some trust. Who's there? Enormity and mystery stretching into eternity, and a seedling of space for the sacred. Some assembly required.
Yeah. Give it up for Julia Masnikov! We have one final poet in the second round. Please go absolutely wild for Susie Briggs!
Seven of us pile into the Brun Reynolds estate, wriggling for room. My sister Debbie hods me techt around the waist in the days afore seatbelt laws. My other sister gurns about my brother's bony hair sticking into her legs and gets tell tough for swearing. Papa stops at the shop for juice, crisps and sausage rolls. We didn't go that far, but at 4-year-old it felt like we were gone to the moon. A waft of the clatter of the council estate, a waft of the noisy neighbours, and that raj wee boy at the park where I piddled on the slides so nobody else could play in it. I look forward to the road ahead like I've been telt, and I try not to breathe and taste the fagreek. Have I been easy scunnert in a car? Papa says, "Look forward to the road ahead, Susie. You'll no get sick if you do that. And stop eating your snorters, you'll get worms." Down the road, past moocoos and sheepy maze, I anticipate each bend to where the wild garlic and the bluebells await. I seek the kirk o' iron grey, a beacon in the summer sun. Its familiar sandstone and white paint, a signal that we're no far now. We stop just before the break. Oh, arms and legs, I burst out the car. Dappled green and sunbeam swirls, the wee birds lilt their skinkling sangs o'er the roar of the blattering water. My wee heart loops and thrums and I get instant fairyland disco fever. I run to the top of the steep path, down onto my hunkers, I skiddle down to my enchanted fairyland escape. The rocks and ferns conceal secret places where the fae folk hide for mortal men. But they dinna hide for me though. They ken I'm orricked and they come out to play. I marvel at the white waterfall cascading bricks plashing against the arc-wet stain. A rainbow portal shimmers and vanishes. I slip off my shin and I plant my feet on the dry shingle shore. Grit finds its way between my toes, but disperses with the first dip. Each slow step in the cold brown water finds fit hard in grooves between slippy stains. My hands racks out, ready to touch the muckle rock that juts out for the forest edge into the flow, pure and certain. Paddling pixies and drouthy bumblebees enjoy the shallow water pools in this ancient mossy seat. Above the arched frame of the cascading white water, my old papa has ascended to the top of the tree, or so it seemed, and I can still hear him shout, "Susie, look up!"
Give it up for Susie Briggs! Another absolutely incredible round. Oh man, I feel so bad because I ask people to judge these. That's like, I can feel them look at me all the time. As soon as a round ends, it's like this wave of hatred from this corner over here. It's really wonderful. Hey guys, an absolutely amazing round. Again, all six just carried on from the first round. That was top notch. Whoever gets through to the final will be amazing, I'm absolutely sure. So just a couple things while the math is going on that I would like to mention. The slam this evening, as we saw, the Galley is running around doing all the filming, the beautiful man that he is, and he will be editing together this show and putting it out on YouTube for free. The full show will go out so that people can follow along the whole slam series. If you did not see the first one, you can go and check it out and see how the folk in Inverclyde did it, what the competition is. I am very keen for people to check them all out, to root for their champions, the people that represent their scene to go to the final. It would be really cool if people could support their folk and maybe even make it across when we know the date for the Bookfest gig. It'd be very cool to have the scene represented, not just Edinburgh, but the whole scene, everyone. That was very important to us when we were putting this together, that top to bottom of Scotland was kind of represented. So please do jump onto the YouTube channel and follow along with the slam series. I don't know exactly when the slam will go out. We do a lot of video editing, but Mark is swift. He will get it done, and it will certainly be out 2 weeks. Look at him go. It will certainly be out before the next one, which is in fucking Will be Dundee. It's as I plug that we put them all out on YouTube. I remember everything I've said about Dundee and Creative Scotland. If you're watching this, Creative Scotland, I would just like to say that was all a gag for comic effect. Whoops. Yeah, no, it's really cool that we're putting that out. We have a huge amount of work on our YouTube channel. We were here before and we filmed stuff and put it out from all of our live shows. There's like snippets going out. There are workshops that we did that Dr. Katie Ailes led on sort of poetic form. We did a thing called Return to Form where we paired up poets from all over the country, and Joelle was part of that project, which was incredible. We paired them up with Colin Bramwell and they both had to write terza rimas because I can't just ask Joelle to do anything simple. Apologies. But yeah, so there's a huge amount of stuff going on there. We're about to jump into NaPoWriMo, which is in April. So if you fancy it, we're going to be doing a sort of weekly podcast with some writing challenges. Join on in, come along and jump on the bandwagon, because spoken word is an oral art form. A lot of fantastic poets never publish anything. You won't find a book of theirs, but they are out there doing incredible work, and we try and film and put as much of them out there as we can. So do jump on the I Am Loud Pro YouTube channel. We've got all the social medias. Come and have a chat to us and we'll point you in the right direction. We do have a mailing list that you can sign up to. So one of our team, Beck Sherwood, is in this tireless effort to collate the UK's spoken word events every month. They put it out there and they end up with a list of over 100 odd shows every month that they put out there through our mailing list. You can keep up to date not only with what we're doing at Loud Poets, but we try and share other events. If there was, for example, a surprise return of an open mic near you, we would certainly be mentioning that when it was appropriate to do so. And never before. So yeah, do consider signing up to the mailing list. We have a sign-up sheet after the show. The beautiful Katie Ailes is going to be having the merch table. We have an anthology, a book, The Loud Poets. Myself, Katie Ailes, Mark Galley, and Beck Sherwood, we all put together an anthology of work that we're incredibly proud of. And it would mean we self-published it. It would mean a lot if you picked up a copy, if you fancied it. Please do all of that. I saw you all see me get the sheet of paper. I'm going to jump to doing Who's Through, don't worry. But you got to sit through the plugs if you want to get the good stuff. That's how it goes. So please do consider doing that. Support spoken word where you are, wherever you can see it. It means a huge amount to us here. But yes, I'll read the list. Okay.
Very, very close. We hate you for making us do this.
All I'm hearing is you hate certain poets, Kate. That's really weird for you to shout that out. No, I say it every time. Like, it is always super close. It'll be, fractions of points between them. So Martin's so pissed that I've asked him to do this. So, performing in this order, in the final round, can I get a little drum roll? Dumfries, you are too good to me. Susie Briggs, Chelsea Nash, and Colleen Wood. Can we just get a huge round of applause for everyone in round 2 and round 1? All of these poets. Absolutely phenomenal. stellar work. So, for our 3 poets, just to know, the winner this evening will win a 200 quid cash prize. It's not cash, because we don't want you leaving a venue where we've told everyone you've got large sums of cash on you. We'll drop you an email, we'll sort it all out, but you win £200. And the winner and runner-up will both qualify for the final. The 3rd round, you will be accompanied by the beautiful Jack Hinks, as we so wonderfully saw with Joelle and Jack before the 2nd round. Music can be a wonderful thing to add to poetry. You do what you do. Jack will follow you because he's super duper. And see how it didn't make another guitar joke. So what we think is the best way to do it, if you give him 3 words that kind of sums up your vibe, the poem you want to put across, and then just you start your poem and he will come in with you, right, Jack? You can give me less if you want. But not more. That's three word cap. But yes, is everyone ready for the final round? Then please give all of your love, all of that energy to the wonderful Susie Briggs.
This is called Selvage. We feathered breath. She blaws off the stour, an awe she has hidden. She unfolds the corners and lays it flat to see it hail, winces at it in her licht. She kens. This tapestry was not woven by her own hands. Unrelentingly, it's still hers. She hears the loudest silence and then floats in the liminal, gathering gossamer threads that skinkle between the stars. She makes her thrumming heart a shuttle, ready to weave herself anew and stitch invisible mends.
Make some noise for Susie Briggs! Phenomenal stuff, Susie. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Guys, it is time for our penultimate poet. You know you've seen them before. I know you're amazed by them. Please give all the energy, all the love to the wonderful Chelsea Nash!
Clouds in the sky stay perfectly still in the town in the valley of Neverwill. At windowsills, the folks wait till the yesterday hunters have made their kill. They watch as the hot sun steadily sets. The heat from its rays make their eyeballs wet. Strangers met, the worst it gets. No stranger has survived as yet. Nights in the valley are fatally cold to the thin-skinned, boring, and far too old. Which one are you? The townspeople march to the silent beat of the heart in the mountain where the councillors meet. It hurts our feet, but don't take a seat. The counsellors will make your death discreet. Colours of new are in full bloom, greys of joy and yellows of gloom. Beloved heirlooms in Nan's living room are the shade of the earth's impending doom. The honest fall silent, for they have no choice. The Daily Now paper has stolen their voice. What is truth? Children dance in the traditional style. Their victims are placed in a growing pile. See them smile, you'd run a mile. The hope in their eyes is simply vile. Creatures creep in full display, inviting the gullible out to play. They'll whisk you away to another day. The hunters will finally have their prey. We do what we want, and in our defense, it's because we know life makes no sense. What's wrong with that? Everyone's got a pet mind of their own in the land of the wooden soldiers made out of stone. We live on our own, though we're never alone in this marvellous hellscape we call home. We gather to celebrate apathy in our glorious church of misanthropy. The priest, you see, swore celibacy out of his deep hatred for humanity. To keep me feeling my very best, I have but one simple request. Don't wake me up. Thank you.
Chelsea Nash, everybody! There's a thing as a host, right, where you're supposed to like kind of reset the energy between people. I have no idea how to do that after Chelsea. I just always come on and go, fucking Chelsea, I guess. Wonderful stuff. I mean that as a distinct compliment, Chelsea. I really do. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. Guys, we have reached our final slammer in what has been an incredible slam. Please, one more time, give that love, give that energy, raise the fucking roof for Colleen Wood!
Thank you. So if we could go like politics, newspapers, and Gary Lineker. It's technically forwards. I was watching the news today, and it was all about a terrorist attack. When the girls came into the room, and then I had to turn it back onto the cartoons they'd been watching just a half an hour before. And I don't think they saw anything, but I can't be absolutely sure they didn't see the body bags and the bloody rags strewn out across the pavement, or the other story before it about the DWP missing payments to a pensioner who'd worked all her life to end up skint. And I'm sorry, but how can a clerical error possibly ever lead someone to jump into a quarry? Well, it did, I'm afraid, and that's a fact. Someone has to protest, because the party line is hardly fine when they've barely even confessed in the age of the computer. And when the internet runs the system, the old lady can't pay her bills and see her family again to kiss them and say goodbye for one last time and wish that things were better. And so they cry and wonder why as they read aloud the letter that she wrote before she chose to take us off to meet a maker. And in that note she calmly spoke about the bloke that came to take her television and her decision that she took with great deliberation. And the apology that followed the event was no commiseration. But in the grand scheme of things, is it all that significant? When the hackers reveal massacres of the infirm and of the innocent that occur across the earth and on an almost daily basis, only confined to all mankind, to all religions and all races, will grab hold of the remote and they turn the cartoons off with urgency, and we sit together in silence and hear of murder and insurgencies. Look at the faces of the racists as they climb up onto their podium. And even though the girls beg me to turn it back to Nickelodeon, I refuse, because I choose to let them make up their own mind about how a court can ask a jury to say whether they find a molester, a protester, a robber, or a saviour. Guilty or not, the sentence they got to be hard for good behaviour, and they'll be out without a doubt before the girls have even left school. This is the world, this is it, girls, and I'll make sure that you're nobody's fooling to think of the MP's policies and what they promised me, or with the paper they are written on. So the question, the suggestion after I have long been and gone, so that when someone or no one gets up to face a pantomime panel, they'll watch it before they turn it back to the Disney Channel, because to be ignorant is one thing, to be absent is quite another. And if we educate the young, there's half a chance we might recover from the incoherent lack of action that has spread like HIV and AIDS. And the spirit and the passion will live on after the hate in me fades, because hate is a powerful emotion, yeah, but it's only half as strong as hope. We can only set the wheels in motion if we give them enough rope to string a few sentences together and do more than we ever thought we could. And then they'll have learnt their lessons, yeah, like every daughter should. Thank you.
Colleen Wood, everybody! And can we get another big round of applause for the beautiful Jack Hinks? Guys, when I talk about it and I say, you know, slams are real good because you get a bit of everything, I don't think you could have a final round where everyone did something so different from each other. But it works. It's so wonderful. It's the beautiful thing about spoken word. I always say it, like, you get a bit of everything, and there is no night quite like a spoken word night. You can go to a comedy show and you will get one reaction over and over and over again, and that will never, ever happen at a spoken word night, I promise you. So just a huge, huge love for me to all the slammers. Can we get one more round of applause, guys? These guys have smashed it. Absolutely amazing. Phenomenal stuff. Like I said, whoever wins, you know, they will get a cash prize, and I know the winner and the runner-up will be excellent representatives for the South. The South. Yeah, so I really hope that you guys follow along with the Slam series. I hope you get involved. I hope you support your representatives. I know it is going to be amazing. Please do continue to support the Stove. Come along to all the amazing events that they put on here. I'm always so amazed because I follow the Stove on Twitter and stuff, and it's every time I see stuff they post, I'm convinced it's in a different building. Like, I look at our setup here, and then, like, last night or the night before, it was a workshop with, like, tools being used. And I'm like, where is that? It's the same space. And it's really, really incredible, especially in places like Dumfries. You know, I'm from a little sort of town, Bathgate I'm from originally. Not dissimilar kind of spot in the world, you know what I mean? Like, and places like the Stove are so, so vital to those communities and keeping things going and giving people actual community, not just a location to live in, but a place to belong. And so, it's like I'm a fucking poet, eh? But it really does. It means a lot for, like, we want to work with really cool organizations who are doing good stuff, and this is absolutely one of our favorite ones to work with. We will be back, as I said, Julember, later in the year. So please do continue to come along and check that out. Come and hang out with us. You know what? Maybe I'll do a wee poem. Just give you guys. You wanna fuck about, Jack? You want to play golf or you want to fuck around? Yeah. Do I do a poem that I'm not sure I remember? Yes. Okay, let's go for Love in Nature. Yeah, I got feelings. What of it? That's it, yeah. Stand in the clearing. Stand so still, the only sound you hear is your own breathing, or the deafening drum of bumblebee wings beating. Each drop of dew falls so slow, it could be a petal's pearl earring. Have you ever stood so still, you see time retreating, leaving lines of light like waves, not quite breaking, taking too long to touch, suspended just above your reaching. We call that feeling love. The only time winning is in crossing the finish line first. The point is the slow crawl, the patient pace of not moving at all, not a rolling stone, but a blanket of moss tossed upon the forest floor, soft and warm. It can be a hard thing to capture when nature screams at us, move faster, to grab and snatch, to play Mother Nature's master, that to move too slow is to court disaster, but run too quick, you might just pass her. Never meet the feeling of grass beneath your feet. Never speak to the trees about how it feels to grow so old or get to know the face of freshly fallen snow. There is so much a single moment can show. If you move slow enough to allow it, in patience, there is power in knowing when to hold to the seed or when to flower. Okay. So, like I said, I'm just going to announce the runner-up and then the winner. Guys, the top three, if you guys can stick about. I know Jack wants to get some photos with the sort of three finalists. That would be very cool. I have been reiterated to. It was so fucking close, apparently. So, yeah. Amazing to all three. Thank you so much for taking part. I know this has been just an amazing night. Your runner-up, the wonderful Susie Briggs! And the person who will be joining Susie at the Edinburgh International Book Festival Loud Poets Grand Slam Final, the Loud Poets Champion of the South is Chelsea Nash! Chelsea Nash,
Oh, you guys. Oh, man. Well, I feel like it's only fitting that I should do, because the one I did there, Never Will, is based on a kind of series of poems. So it makes sense that I end it with the final one, kind of last one, which is, I'd rather be in Never Will. Sitting in the garden with a glass of wine, absorbing the sun of the evening time. It brings me no joy and I heavily sigh, because I'd rather be in Never Will. Feel free to join in if you like. Might as well. Why not? Why not? You've got the vibe now. Working in an office with minimal pay and a boss who wants things done their way. I have no hopes and I have no say, so I'd rather be in Never Will. Dancing in a nightclub at 2 a.m. with men who think I'm in love with them. From their audacity my feelings stem, for I'd rather be in Never Will. Singing a hymn at my friend's wedding and watching the tears that they are shedding. The rest of the evening I am dreading, as I'd rather be in Never Will. Listening to family while out for lunch and the gossip that they loudly crunch. I search for the nearest wall to punch, because I'd rather be in Never Will. Silently watching the news at 10. Everything's going wrong again. When it comes to change, there is no when. So I'd rather be in Never Will. Reading books by philosophers who say that to live is to suffer, and it's only going to get tougher, for I'd rather be in Never Will. Lying in bed, awaiting dreams. The ultimate escape from the world, it seems. But they don't free me, and so I scream, as I'd rather be in Never Will. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Give it up for your champion, Chelsea Nash! Chelsea and Susie join Angie Strachan and Gray Crosby as the first four finalists for the Edinburgh International Book Festival, so it is shaping up to be fucking good. So yeah, as soon as we know dates, we will be putting them out there. We will be encouraging everyone to come along. Please, please do support your two reps. I know they will do a phenomenal job. Guys, can we just get one huge round of applause for Jack Hinks? For all of our beautiful judges. For our absolutely spectacular sacrificial poet, Joelle Taylor. for all of the staff here at the Stove. And can we get one thunderous applause for all of your slammers this evening? I have been Kevin Mclean. This has been the Loud Poets South Slam. You guys have been fucking brilliant. We will see you again. Good night!